Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. My name's Jim. I'm with the Brewers Association of Maryland. We appreciate you tuning in for one more Fermented Friday during the month of February, Maryland Craft Beer Lovers Month. We truly appreciate your desire to support local beer, and we look forward to having a great conversation this afternoon. If you are having a really hard time hearing me or things are very choppy, would you let me know in the comments? There seems to be an issue with this machine that I'm on, and I can rectify that if there's a problem. If you're watching this in the future, I hope this is all cleared up and you don't have to worry about that. This afternoon, we have a great talk about the growing diversity in Maryland's beer culture. We have some wonderful business owners, business representatives, and operators who are here to share their stories, talk about why seeing cultural change in Maryland craft beer is so important, not only to their businesses, but also to the entire industry. How having new perspectives and sharing new ideas is critical to seeing Maryland beer grow and evolve the way that it should. I'm looking very much forward to chatting with our guests today. I think we're all going to learn a lot, have an opportunity to ask some great questions. Thank you for the feedback. I will keep an eye on how things are going. I'm sorry that the video is a little jumpy. There might be an opportunity for me to fix that. That said, we have a couple of announcements that we made this week. We just want to make sure that we get a chance to share those here. Those announcements include the fact that we will be bringing the Maryland Craft Beer Festival back to Frederick in May, Saturday, May the 14th. We are set to bring the Maryland Craft Beer Festival back to Frederick. Tickets will go on sale Friday, February the 25th. This will be our early bird passes, an opportunity for you to get some discounted ticket pricing and a jump on those tickets that you know that you want when it comes to this event. We also still have Love Thy Beer passes on sale. Love Thy Beer passes are available for Friday, April the 8th. And we'll be hosting that at the Silver Spring Civic Building. 25 breweries gathered together, showcasing seasonal beer. So look forward to that. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please do. We cannot wait to see you there. It looks like things may have straightened up on my end, and I am ready to introduce our guests. First, I'd like to introduce Gene with Patuxent Brewing Company. Gene, how you doing?
There it is. Hey, how you doing today, Jim?
I'm well. Welcome back. It's great to see you again. I had a great time last time we chatted. I'm looking forward to having an even better chat today. Same here.
It's hard to believe it's been a year, like a year and a half.
Man. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Exactly.
I'm going to jump in with Alfred from Joyhound. Alfred, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a long time coming getting you onto one of our conversations. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
I'm looking forward to chatting about your wonderful lineup of cans that are popping up everywhere I go.
Thank you.
We've got Charles with the Black Brew Movement, a really great concept and idea that I can't wait for you to share with everybody. We're excited to have you on board. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Of course. Thank you for having me on.
And then last but not least, for the first round of introductions, we've got Drew with Liquid Intrusion Brewing Company, a brewery in planning. One of the coolest names I think that I've heard in the last year or two for beer. I really dig that name. I love the way that you're making it known that you're here to be stirring it up, man. I love that.
Appreciate it, and thank you for the opportunity for being here.
Absolutely. I know that it was a difficult thing trying to schedule everybody, so thank you all for making it work. This is a really great panel we have today, and I'm really looking forward to chatting. That said, in most of these situations, I try to drive the conversation. I try to be the guy at the steering wheel asking the questions, but I think that we owe it to you all to kind of share your experiences and talk about why this industry means so much to not only you, but to people that you represent, the people in your communities and the people that you want to see showing up to more beer events. So I don't know where the best place to start with that is. Gene, I don't want to throw you on the hot seat, man, but do you want to kind of break the ice a little bit and let everybody know why this is such a great thing for beer?
Well, it's a great thing for beer that, first of all, we literally all talk every day. Literally everybody that's on here. We either talk every day through Instagram, text messaging and stuff, but it's definitely a great thing for beer because now it's showing the general public and it's showing aspiring business owners who want to get into this industry that, hey, there are people here that look just like me that actually are making some noise in this industry, and it's showing people that this is definitely possible. So what's been going on for like the past year and a half, the explosion has just been remarkable.
I don't want to point to any one individual thing when it comes to what's helped this surge. You know, not only is there an increase in interest from all people in this industry, but, you know, I think that the last time you and I spoke was right after Black is Beautiful made a big splash.
Yes.
And I'm curious if that endeavor made a hell of a lot more impact than people give it credit for.
I mean, in my opinion, it did, but it was a number of different things. You know, it was. I hate to always say it. It was COVID. it stuck. It made people stay in one spot, and it made people pull the trigger on their dreams. So they might have been fiddling around with wanting to do it, you know, and because they were quarantined and in the house, they were like, "All right, let's pull the trigger," you know. And not to jump on Drew's story because he'll tell you. I mean, that's pretty much how it was with him. You know, and that's pretty much
Guilty.
how it was with everybody. Yeah. You know, COVID, I would have to say, if you want to point to one thing, it was that. And it allowed everybody to, see what's out there in the craft beer community, see all the minority brewers, you know, taste the minority products and stuff. And that was just a catalyst.
So, Drew, is that kind of where the idea for Liquid Intrusion came from? Was it a concept you had in mind and then you kind of you had the opportunity when COVID happened?
So yes, a lot of motivation. Like Gene was saying, another thing is like Barrel and Flow Fest is another one for us, right? That's where all of the less than 1% across the country come together for a predominantly African-American beer festival. And you see people that look like you, and you actually get to see that less than 1% of Black brewers that's out there to be represented. You see them in the flesh. And from there, I've always had a passion for beer. I worked in beer sales prior to. And the thing was, you know, when COVID hit, I didn't have time to brew. I knew how to drink it. I knew how to sell it, but I actually had time to brew it, you know, and learn how to brew and really study the craft and writing recipes and understanding the hop varieties of things that we wanted to use. And, you know, we're a husband and wife operation. So at that time, my wife was teleworking from home. I was laid off. So she was like, you know, you need to leave me alone and find a hobby. So, you know, I picked up home brewing, and it's kind of like a divine intervention type thing. There was a a lady who was selling her husband's homebrewing equipment who recently just passed due to cancer and things of that nature. And I told her what my dream was, what we wanted to do. We didn't even have a name. I just knew I wanted to do something. And she was like, you remind me so much of my husband. Here, take it all for free, and just make sure you do something with it. And it's things like that for us underneath this house that keeps us motivated day in and day out. We want to make sure that we are providing a safe space for people of color to come and be able to try liquid and not feel judged just because they may or may not understand what a certain style is. But then also we want the industry to know that, it's not about the color of our skin. It's about the liquid at the end of the day. And you're going to hear me say that a lot. So I'm going to apologize in advance.
Well, that's what the whole story is about anyway, right? At least it's supposed to be. That's why we're all here, because of the love of that liquid, right?
The liquid.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, with us, like our name, Liquid Intrusion, it's two meanings. One, it's about how porous water is through malts in order to create wort that will in turn create beer. But then also we want to intrude on a market that's underrepresented of people of color, So that's our motto. That's our thing. But also we're all about the liquid. And we don't care who you are, where you're from, may the liquid always prevail.
I love that that mindset. That's a wonderful way to be presenting what you're doing. And I think you're on the right path there for sure. I do want to ask Alfred, since Joyhound was an established brand prior to COVID, and you were in the middle of bringing some new products to market, I think right when this whole thing took off. Have you seen any kind of benefit to your brand and your opportunity to kind of capitalize on your community during this whole thing?
So I would say COVID was, for the most part, really, really negative for me because, like you said, we did our first batch of beer in October of 2019, and it was draft only, and then draft went away. So I had no product I could sell. And it was just like, wow, I guess I'm gonna pivot into cans because I want to have income. So
that's a lofty thing for a business to be thinking about.
I was just like, oh, well, we're not like, what else do you do? Like, we're not doing that anymore. Like, it doesn't exist. So, thank goodness, there was that surge in, sales in cans at the start of the pandemic. And I think that really helped with my ability to get into some, accounts quickly. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I had all these plans for all these things I wanted to do. I wanted to do all these tastings. I wanted to go to all these festivals. Like, yeah, we're new. We're going to have all this momentum behind us. And it's like, COVID's like, actually, no.
Yeah, we're just going to take a year right out of that, huh?
So it's taught me the lesson that you have to be adaptable for sure.
Well, that's wonderful. And Drew, I heard you mention something in your comments about folks' familiarity or experience or knowledge about brands. And I think that's one of the things that Charles and the Black Brew movement really are going to be capitalizing on with their efforts, which is the education of what beer is, why beer is a staple, why it's important. Charles, can you tell us a little bit about the work you've been doing and what your overall agenda and goals are?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes down to education around craft beer and the experience for a lot of these new communities. We're online and we see the interest in craft beer peaking, but we all know how it is for, someone kind of outside of the craft beer space to kind of walk into that brewery for the first time. It can be intimidating, right? You don't know a lot about beer. You don't know, how to pronounce a certain style or something like that. So, we try to work with the whole industry, but specifically, these brands that you see here in front of you, to create really authentic experiences, to give people, really good first impressions with craft beer through education, through experiences, through different types of events, in hopes to bring in, new demographics in the craft beer and just have a steady flow of people into the industry and people that can, enjoy craft beer together. So, ultimately that's what we do. We also, want to highlight elevate and promote, these African American brands that are popping up, because we know, in this industry you have to be competitive, right? You have to produce good beer and you have to make yourself known. So, we try to support that as much as possible, right? You always hear the 1% statistic out there. And that's something that, we're just going to have to continue to grow steadily. And Black Brew Movement is committed to that growth. So, and everything we do through social media marketing, through throwing events, online events, experiences, we're trying to slowly get that 1%, hopefully the 2%, inspire hopefully a new generation of owners and brewers as time goes along.
That's awesome. I do definitely believe that seeing brands like Patuxent and Joyhound out there being successful, putting their names in front of people, has given the next generation or the next line of entrepreneurs the opportunity to say, look, I'm not going to be the only one out there trying to fight this fight on my own. It's nice to know that you have allies and that you're part of a much bigger thing than yourself. And I'm sure, Gene, you guys felt this at Patuxent for a while, being like the lone group out there saying, hey, we're the ones.
And definitely, because when we got started, I mean, we pretty much was it. It was, Soul Mega, Sankofa, Joyhound, and then us. And that was it. And, we still are to this day the only ones that actually have a tap room, and after a year, it's like, again, the explosion. Now we got Drew coming up, we got Urban Garden coming up, we got our guys, oh my goodness, I'm getting tongue tied. They're actually supposed to be on here today too. Saga,
yeah.
Black Viking coming up, and it's just amazing. And in such a short period of time, we see this explosion of other breweries and brands that are just popping up. And the beautiful thing about it is, and I always say this, is because we're all at different parts of Maryland, and naturally it's almost like we don't have any like competition, like healthy competition, but because we all do stuff differently. We all have different brands of beer that we push, so it's like everybody can enjoy everybody, because Drew might have something that we don't, that people enjoy. We have something that Drew don't, vice versa, and everybody likes it, and all the beer is great. So we're just excited that we're a part of this explosion, and that, we've been an inspiration to some, and they inspire us to work even harder and keep us on our toes.
I know that as part of the celebration of Black History Month and of February, you guys have all been working together with some other Black-owned brands from the DC area to promote several tasting events. Can you talk a little bit about what the purpose of those events are, how those are turning out? I know you have one coming up with Rob at Whitey's tomorrow.
Yep.
Which I think is going to be great for everybody there.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Can you chat a little bit about what those events look like and the purpose behind them, other than just saying, hey, come taste our great beer?
Pretty much it's a meet and greet, because with all of our brands, Patuxent included, we've never really had something where you can come out and actually meet the 1% of brewers, and in the Maryland area. And this idea kind of got started with Charles and his wife when we did a festival with them, the Black Greek Festival in DC. And we all were like, hey, this is the first time we're actually all together, at one point in time, which was amazing. So then from there, we had the opportunity for all of us to be on Channel 9. And we were supposed to do a meet and greet. But because of the COVID, that never panned out. So now this stuff is kind of sort of starting to calm down. We've had these events that we wanted to plan and do. And the first one, like you said, is with Rob. Rob reached out to us and was like, hey, it's February, it's Black History Month. We would love to have you out. We were like, this fits into our plans. And then on the 24th, we're going to be at Brass Tap at National Harbor for another meet and greet, so you get to see all of us again. And then after that, I believe we, and it still is in planning, that we're going to do something else at Right Proper, where some of us are going to be coming out. So during all of these events, we're going to be together, and it's going to be for the public to see us, to meet us, to ask questions, and to try everybody's product.
That's awesome. Charles, how do you feel about the success of being able to take this show kind of on the road and really bring this beer to where the people are?
Yeah, it's a really important aspect, I think, of not only what we do, but it's important. It's an important component to the growth of these brands as well. We want everything to be authentic. So um, being online and kind of in the COVID space is great because you get to connect with people, you get to market, but there's nothing like meeting people face to face, people seeing your brand, people seeing your smile, you talking about your beer. That's one of the most important aspects of bringing new, demographics into craft beer, and we're all for it. And we're really excited for the opportunity to continue to work with these brands, put on festivals and events, promote home brewing. Right, these are all great opportunities to get people to come in and really, I guess, take a critical look at craft beer and say, hey, I didn't consider this before. I'm not a craft beer drinker, but this seems like a really safe space. This seems like a really nice event. This seems like a really cool vibe. Let me go check it out. And then you meet Andrew, and then you meet Gene, and then you meet Alfred, and they're like, wow, these guys got great beer. It's a great vibe. And now they start to think differently about craft beer and how they, want to approach, their next visit to a bar, right? They might not order wine. Hey, let me try that craft beer. So it's really been a great opportunity to pull everybody together. And hopefully there's a lot more to come, as things get warmer. We want to do, I know Black Brew Movement, we want to do more events in Maryland. Our opportunities have been in DC for the most part, but PG County is just this huge, opportunity to bring in a lot of African-American folks into the craft beer fold. So we look forward to working with everyone in Maryland to make that happen. Hopefully really soon.
That's excellent. And Bobby from Facebook has a really great comment that I just wanted to share. For there being too little diversity in the industry, Bobby's really looking forward to trying each of your beers and seeing the unique perspective that you bring to brewing or to the industry as a whole, and wishes a lot of luck. I think that that's an excellent sentiment. I truly believe that that's what this is all about, is people are thrilled to see any entrant to this industry, let alone somebody who's been underrepresented or marginalized prior to this opportunity. So y'all are setting the path for great things to happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did want to point out that it looks like a lot of guys in this photo. We were hoping to have Trinice on, formerly with Tuxen Brewing, now helping out with Lifting Lucy, which is with Black Indigenous Women of Color, arm of the Pink Boots Society. Thank you to Amethyst for sharing that in the comments so people can have a point of reference. But if you're not aware, the Pink Boots Society supports women and women identifying brewers and professionals in the brewing industry. And they have an arm now that is focused on celebrating and lifting up women of color who are involved in this industry too. So check out Lifting Lucy, check out the Pink Boots Society, and check out all the great work that they're doing. What are the big things on the horizon for the industry? Now that we're starting to see this groundswell of new entrants, we've started to see the barriers to entry knocked down. We're seeing people get that, post-COVID fatigue out of the way. Everybody's like, you know what? If I can do 2 years of the hell that we've all just been through, I can do whatever I need to do to succeed. What do y'all see happening in the next few months and years?
Who want to take it?
I'll go first.
I know y'all have.
I'll jump in. I'll jump in. To the first statement about the panel being more male driven. Libco is husband and wife owned. My wife is co-founder, co-owner, co-brewer. It's split down the middle 50-50. And the things that she does for us and our brand and our business is bar none. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here because she is currently working right now. But I do want to say to my wife, she's probably watching. I love you. But from there, as far as to see how things are going forward, is there's going to be a lot of different adjuncts going into the liquid nowadays, right? Like you look at Urban Garden with the Camelite beer. She has chamomile going in there. For us, we're doing the lemongrass saison. We have a plum basil farmhouse ale. There's going to be a lot of different approaches when it comes to adjuncts in the liquid, as far as seeing your traditional, any type of stout, any type of traditional IPA, or just lager or ale. There's going to be a lot of different adjuncts coming out on the horizon.
That's a really good point to bring up, and I hadn't really considered that much. And the only person I've heard really express that, and I don't want to put words in Sean's mouth since he's not here, but when I first talked to him about Zinga beer from Black Viking, his whole conversation was, I don't want my friends and the people in my community who have stayed away from beer to feel as though I'm trying to put something that they don't want to taste in front of them. So I want to give them the opportunity to taste something totally new that I know is going to fit in line with flavors that they would appreciate and expect, and see how that works out. And I tell you what, I've had Zinga beer, and it is good.
So, and Jim, you touched on it. That's one of the main reasons why, I guess, in the Black community right now, craft beer is blowing up, because it's so different than what we there goes Sean right there.
All I had to do was say the man's name, and
all you gotta say is say the man's name, he shows up. But it's so different than what all of us have had growing up and what we've been used to, and that's the thing, and that's what makes all of our brands so awesome, is because it's so different, and it peaks so much like, oh my gosh, I want to try this. It's not like that watered down crap that we are used to having and stuff. This looks exciting. This looks like the labels look awesome. Drew uses lemongrass. Oh my gosh, I need to try that. And when people see that, it just piques excitement. So definitely you're spot on with that. And to add, as far as what I see, some big things that are coming up, and just speaking from our level, is that now access to capital and funding for businesses, because you see that down south. Shout out to Hip and Hops Brewery in Atlanta. They opened up like a second, third location, and now you're going to start seeing these banks that traditionally probably didn't believe in Black brewers or the business plans that they submitted. Now that they can see, and they have history to see that, hey, this is some successful stuff. Maybe we can throw money into this. Maybe we can give them loans to be able to open up tap rooms and stuff, So that's another thing you're probably going to start seeing within the next year or so.
The access to getting into the industry for anyone has always been tight, and there's obviously a very storied history of people of color having access to capital, loans, things like that. So knowing and hearing that those things seem to be correcting themselves, whether it's because banks are more interested in seeing where these businesses can go, or because people are doing the right thing and just lending money to anybody who has a good business plan, is encouraging. Sean, thank you for joining us. I know you're out there on the hustle today.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, everyone. I know you guys have been having a great conversation.
Hey, the best part was I just had to say something about Zinga beer, and you popped right in, man.
I'm a psychic, man.
It's like you're like Beetlejuice.
Oh, man. Hey, Beetlejuice is ugly, though, man. I got to be somebody else.
All right, you're the beautiful Beetlejuice. How about that?
I appreciate that, Jim.
We were just kind of talking about everything that's going on. You want to say a little bit about what Black Viking's been up to? I know you're keeping your eyes out the window in front of that building you're stopped in front of.
Right, absolutely. Hey, look, you're a smart man. That's why you're the comms director, man. And so, yeah, Black Viking, we launched back in October with our flagship Zinga beer, 5.5% easy drinking ginger golden ale brewed with ginger and wildflower honey. It's been doing really, really well for us since we launched October 23rd. We're in, I think, maybe like 23 different accounts. And then just yesterday, we released our Black is Beautiful Stout in collaboration with Beltway Brewing in Virginia and Cajun Fire out of New Orleans. That's a 7.1% beignet stout brewed with beignets flown in actually from New Orleans, from Moe's Beignets. So we're really excited about that. We actually are just for our pre-orders, we just sold out. So we're very excited and very excited to be a part of this just dynamic brewing community in Maryland. Like, just very honored and humbled to be with some of the most creative, genuine, hardworking, high integrity people that I've ever met. So that's us, man. That's our spiel.
Well, I was just saying that Zinga beer is a delicious product. We were talking about Drew brought up the idea that we would start to see flavors that may be a little bit less familiar in what we would consider traditional beers as a way to captivate the folks that are coming in from different communities that haven't been served well by craft beer. And I was just saying that I think that was one of the things that you told me about that beer when you brought that recipe up, was you wanted this to be something that everybody could approach without having to have already needed an affinity for beer. So good work there.
Thank
I'm
you so much.
very intrigued about this stout with the beignets in it. Any chance you doted a little bit of chicory in there?
So no, man. That would have been nice. I'm gonna take a mental note on that, because that would have been gave a nice little twist to it. But no, brew with Madagascar vanilla beans, like a nice roasted malt. Like I said, the beignets as well. We kept the ABV down because we wanted to be a big easy. Yes, that's a pun for New Orleans, big easy drinking stout, and something that was roasted to give a coffee type vibe, to kind of recreate that Cafe du Monde feeling of eating your beignets and drinking your coffee when you first get to New Orleans. We actually were also very fortunate when we went on Fox 5 yesterday to kind of announce the release. We partnered with PJ's Coffee, which is a franchise out of New Orleans, and the two ones in Maryland, the two locations in Maryland, are actually owned by a Black couple, Mike and Tyra Harris. They're very just dope people, and they serve authentic beignets at their coffee spots. So to pair the brews with the beignets, visually it looked great on camera, but also it just tasted really good. So that was fun.
I'm sure it was. Well, you can have that chicory note for free this time, but it's
Hey, duly noted. I appreciate that, Jim.
I just want to be there to drink it when it comes out of the fermenter, if you hear what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Hey, also duly noted.
So what else is there to share with people about the opportunities that are out there? Are there guides that you guys might be able to provide, or any kind of knowledge that you want to share with folks that are out there looking to come into this industry? I want to kind of steal that piece from Sean, because when I was on his show, he asked me to offer some knowledge to folks that were looking at a way to get in. So I want to ask the same of all of you. You've been through a whole lot to get where you are, whether you're, having to shift your model up, Alfred, and put beer in cans, or you have to come up with a way to, stand by yourself out there at Patuxent, or break into the industry on the back of something that was incredibly trying for all of us. What do you have to share with people, and what advice can you give?
I would say relationships. Build on relationships. Have open lines of communication, and don't be afraid just to ask questions, and don't be afraid to team up and just do different things, because traditionally that's what's been going on in the industry anyway, and one of the beautiful things about all of us is, organically, we just are all together, you know what I mean? And I know at Patuxent, and with any one of us that's on here, everybody has an open door policy where if you want to come in, ask a question, do things, we're there, because we know how hard it is. We know how hard it is to break in. We know how hard it is to get noticed, and every one of us have different abilities and different people that we know that we can leverage, that helps each other out and helps us out and can help out the next person.
Yeah. I think to build off of that, I mean, that's so important what Jenny just said. I would just say, be open-minded when you come into this industry. There are so many different opportunities. If you want to brew beer, or if you want to get into another aspect of this industry, we need representation through, in every single corner, of the industry. So be open-minded when you come in. Go down to Patuxent, talk with Gene and Davies, man. They're great. Come to one of these events, come to a meet and greet, and ask these questions. Hey, where can I get in? What opportunities do exist? Learn how to, and develop a passion for craft beer, right? I mean, try homebrewing out. Drew's story is amazing. It really does help build a passion and an appreciation for beer. I started home brewing during the pandemic. To Gene's point, you kind of just pick something up and try it, and it just helps me appreciate beer so much more. So those business opportunities are out there, but don't skip out on some of the, that initial stuff that needs to go on, right? Develop a nice passion for it, understand the science behind it, and really the possibilities are endless. Once you kind of understand it, there are endless opportunities all throughout the industry. That's what we've kind of learned so far.
Drew said, yep.
I'll chime in next. Yeah, I'll chime in next. So when it comes to what Charles said, one thing I always say whenever I get on a live or a stream or something like that, especially to people of color, just know that there's different positions when it comes to being a part of a brewery, right? Like chemistry biologists dealing with yeast and all that stuff, making sure that the liquid is consistent from batch to batch, right? Accounting, management, there's a whole slew of different type of degrees and stuff like that that makes you qualified to be a part of the beer scene, right? One, everybody likes beer. You just don't know what style yet. Just be willing to put your palate through the ringer and see what actually you do like, because you may never know. You might like a lambic, or you might like a lager. It just, everybody's palate is different, and that's what makes the beer industry so great. And then from there, like for me being in the brewery and planning phase and trying to make it to the next step, take that leap of faith, get out of your own head and do it. All right. Social media, you have to work with what you got right now. So right now, if COVID is still a thing, work social media, retweet, reshare, Facebook, Instagram, get on lives, do everything that you got to do, and make sure, like how Gene said, you have relationships, because if it wasn't for me being on Sean's Black Viking, no, forgive me, if it wasn't for Gene being on Sean's Black Viking Live, I wouldn't have came down that Saturday of the same week to present my liquid and see if we were actually working, right? So the leap of faith is the biggest thing for me.
That's awesome advice.
Yeah, I agree with all three of my esteemed colleagues. I think the relationship piece is really key. And I know when I was with Jamil and I were talking about starting up Black Viking, we had the opportunity to sit down with Ben Little over at Fourscore, who was just like incredibly knowledgeable and forthcoming with information. And he said to me, you can sell beer off relationships.
That is absolutely accurate.
Stuck, because that's, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense to me. Make sure that your relationships are solid. And so I'm big on relationships, and I'm not a brewer. So, I better be able to build some good relationships to sell what Jamil is making. And then the last thing that I'll say too is also taking what I like to call the Steve Jobs approach to selling beer, where you really have to think of the end-to-end consumer experience, right? So you have to think about what type of beer you're making, when, like what season you're going to release it in, what does the packaging look like, the artwork, all of that stuff. Because if you have a great beer and the packaging sucks, it's probably not going to sell. And if you have great packaging but the beer sucks, then it's not going to sell. So it needs to be really a comprehensive view to how you're putting your beer out there.
I think that's one of the things that Sean and I talked about was you can always sell your beer once. It's the second sell that's the hard one.
Yeah. Right, exactly, exactly.
I think that that's been really kind of helpful, and I think that it's great that it sucks that we have to keep going back to this point, but due to the fact that there is finally this I want to call it a disruption, this disruption of what craft beer looks like, because people are becoming committed to this industry and want to take it to be a part of their own. There are more resources than ever for people of color who want to get into this industry and try it without having to feel like they're going to come to somebody who may brush them off or may not be interested in sharing the knowledge. And it truly sounds like you all are developing a really great network to support the people that are coming up behind you. And as somebody who's been a fan of this industry in this state for almost 20 years, I want to thank you guys very much for all of that, because you're going to set the path for the next generation of people that are out there making this industry look good for all of us.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sure, Jim.
Thank you.
What do you all have going on over the next couple of days and weeks through the end of February that's worth sharing with folks? What's coming out at Patuxent? What do you have going on, Alfred? Where can people find beer? Sean, Charles, what do you got going on? Let everybody know everything that's happening. Just go around the horn and share your information.
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Please.
Yeah. So at Joy Hound, we're making 3 beers right now. We got our Oba IPA in 12 ounce. This is our West Coast IPA, 7% ABV. We've got our Foggy Harbor. This is our double dry hopped hazy pale ale. That's 6% ABV. It's also available in 12 ounce. And in 16 ounce, we've got Foggy Chesapeake. This is our fruited hazy double IPA. It's got tangerine, lime, lemon, and a little bit of Indian coriander in it. So you can go on joyhoundbeercompany.com to find out the locations for all of my beers. We just got into the Total Wine in Laurel today. So if you're in that area, definitely check us out there. And in DC, you can find us at every Trader Joe's also, and at Wardman Wines.
That Trader Joe's placement is excellent. You'll do very well there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Who wants
All
to
right.
go next?
At Patuxent, besides all of these great events that we're going to for the rest of this month, we did re-release our flagship beer, 301 Pale Ale. Sorry for the empty can because I was drinking the whole time. All right, with some updated labels. Yes, we got the Maryland flag standing prominently out there. And coming up for our next run, our next limited edition run, we are going to be putting out our county beer, Sunken Sips, which was voted on by the residents of Charles County as the official beer of Charles County. So that's going to be our next run that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Then we're going to do some physical enhancements to the tap room, to make it even better. So we got some stuff that we're going to do on the outside in the back, as we like to say. So as the weather gets better, we're going to make that even more better. And we're just going to keep more beer and just keep mentoring more, and that's it,
I love it. That's awesome, and it's a great opportunity at this point in time to be making that investment in the tap room and kind of dressing it up to where you guys want to be.
Definitely. Oh, and I did forget, you can also get our 301 Pale Ale at Off the Rocks, which is another Black-owned craft beer and wine store in East Baltimore. We're on tap at Grill 13 down here in Waldorf. Definitely have to support that. We're on tap at another small business, a small woman-owned and veteran-owned business called Bayou Girls Daiquiri Factory. We are the only beer on tap there at her establishment. And we look to be at a couple more different places, but definitely you can always find our beer at our tap room.
Sweet.
Sean, you got anything happening? What's the release schedule look like for your stout? You said it's coming out tomorrow?
So, it's out now. We have our events, our official events tomorrow. And so we'll be at Whitey's with the rest of these good folks from 2 to 5. And then we will be at Downtown Crown from 6 till whenever the doors shut. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We also have an event at Serenata in DC in Union Market Tuesday from 6 to 9, a happy hour. They'll have our Zinga beer and our Black is Beautiful. So that's us right there. See the beignets at the bottom.
Looking good.
Yeah. So, and then here's our Zinga beer. I'm hoping that Andra Johnson, the owner of Serenata, everyone calls her AJ, super dope. She's been featured in Smithsonian Mag, Washington Post. She's a mixologist for real. I'm hoping she makes a cocktail with one of our beers. So we'll see about that. And then, we've got the events with these guys on where is it, Gene, again? At Brass Tap on Thursday.
Brass Tap Thursday the 24th from 6 to 8, but 6 until. Stay there. They got good food. It's going to be a nice time.
And we're doing an until question mark kind of deal, huh?
Right.
I like it.
And shout out to Mark and his wife, the owners. We tried to get hey, is there a cutoff time? And they were like, look, we got food. As long as y'all can last. Because I know we all got work in the morning. So.
Right. Yeah. So, check out our website, www.blackvikingbrewing.com. That'll list all of our locations. Like I said, I think we're in it's maybe like 23 or 24 different locations all throughout Montgomery County. We're in Baltimore. We're in Frederick, on tap at White Rabbit Gastropub. We'll go on Brass Tap, on draft at Brass Tap probably next week. World of Beer, Rockville and Bethesda. So yeah, we're in a good space.
That's awesome. Charles, you have any updates?
So for us,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Drew.
my bad. Go ahead, Charles. You're good.
I'll be quick. I know folks want to talk about the beer. Just go to check us out on Instagram. You can see kind of us promoting everyone's events, or you can go to blackbrewmovement.com to see, all the events that we'll be doing with all these companies. Check us out on Instagram. We'll be helping promote and things like that. We also are planning an event at Right Proper for a collab that we did with Right Proper in DC. Opportunity. It's a black IPA. I'll come out and taste that. Just go on our website, or you can go check us out on Instagram for the dates and the logistics to that.
Awesome.
Sorry about that. But no, for us at Lipco, we are definitely in the process of applying for federal and state wholesale licensing, so we can actually start liquid legally. But we are still under the brewery and planning and homebrew phase. So we pour samples to all of these events that's been listed. So tomorrow we'll be there, posted up with the jockey box of our African Queen and her 7 Seas IPA. Everybody, wrong side. There we go. So very good, tasty, a lot of stuff going on there. Then we have our farmhouse ale that everybody loves, tried and true. And then we'll be pouring samples out of can for our South of DC, and then also our lemongrass saison as well too. So for all of these events, we don't mind as far as gospel of Lipco and giving samples at some point in time, able to be on draft and be able to sell a package to all of these great stores that's actually reaching out to us now and going from there. So for Lipco, www.lipcobeer.com. Our website is live. Definitely sign up to our newsletter underneath the contact section. We're live on Untapped as well too. So all of these beers are listed on there. Twitter, Instagram, Lipco 2021. So for that, may the liquid always prevail.
That's a very powerful sign off there, man. I like that one. You win the sign off game, Drew.
Sign off game.
Like, well, thanks for tuning in. We hope you have a great weekend.
Hey, Jim. I would be remiss if we did not mention our sister and our brother at Urban Garden. Definitely, they're doing big things. I know they got some stuff coming out. That whole first run was definitely amazing. They got sold out quick. So definitely shout out to Imani and all of Urban Garden and the things that they're doing and the path that she's setting forth, being a female owner and brewer of her own brand and everything. So definitely shout out to Urban Garden and everything that they're doing.
That's incredible, and thank you for sharing that story too. I'm looking forward to the day where we get to just keep cycling through and make this panel larger and larger, and get everybody under this umbrella, because it's a whole lot of fun to hear about different perspectives. We didn't get too deep into what that perspective was today, because I think over the last few months and years, all of you have been good contributors to that conversation. I've heard it from Sean. Gene, you and I have had the opportunity to personally talk about it. And I've seen many of you guys showing up on your own live feeds and talking and telling the stories. So this was really an opportunity to bring you all together and really kind of shine the light on what's happening, and really show that that 1% may only be 1%, but it's growing quick, and you're going to make a splash. So that's what it's all about. I also wanted to just give a shout out from BAM's president, Brett Snyder. He wanted to say that he's very happy for all of you and your success to date, and that you're members of BAM. Obviously, that's a very important thing to all of us, because this association runs because of its members and by its members. So thank you all for your continued commitment to our association. And then
Thank
Abby,
you.
our events director, just wants everyone to know that she hopes to see each and every one of you presenting at Maryland Craft Beer Festival. So you better mark that on your calendars. Sean,
Definitely.
you were out hitting the streets when I was announcing it at the beginning, so I'll announce it for you and everybody else who might be tuning in. Maryland Craft Beer Festival is returning to Frederick on Saturday, May the 14th. Tickets will go on sale next Friday, February the 25th. We hope to have more than one of these wonderful guests presenting their beer at that event. I expect that we will see multiple booths set up with great beer made from the guests that you see today. We also have the Love Thy Beer event coming up in Silver Spring on Friday, April the 8th. Tickets to that event are currently on sale, and I'm feeling generous. I think we should do a giveaway for a pair of tickets to both of those events. What do we think?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I'm with it. Yeah.
So what should we do? What should the thing be? Should we have somebody? What should the contest be? I need some help here. Group think, man.
Oh.
I'm terrible at this kind of stuff, man.
All right, I tell you what. If you're watching this stream today and you go out tomorrow to Whitey's and you say hello to this group of folks and you take a picture and tag Maryland Beer at Maryland Beer on Instagram or Brewers Assoc Maryland on Facebook, and throw the hashtag on there, February, and I don't know what's another good hashtag that they should have. They need two.
The collective.
The
Prevailing liquid.
They're going liquid again.
Tag us, take a picture with these folks, tell us how great their beers are, and the first one to do all that, we'll give you a pair of passes to both Love Thy Beer and to the Maryland Craft Beer Festival.
I love it.
And
Sounds
tag your
good.
friends. Make sure they get out there and say hi. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Keep making great beer, and visit marylandbeer.org for any of your other Maryland beer questions. I look forward to seeing all of you soon.
Sweet.
Likewise,
Thanks,
Jim.
man.
Thank you so
Likewise.
much, man. We appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Cheers,
Appreciate
guys.
May the liquid always prevail.
There it is.